Are the Bears really a year away? Sports Talk Chicago. Here with Jon Zaghloul. Follow us right here on YouTube at Sports Talk Chicago, all over the place on social media and on podcasting platforms at Sports Talk Chicago. And hit up our sponsor, Amish Country Farms, for the best Amish food in all of Chicagoland. Hit them up today in Orland Park. So are the Bears just a year away? How close are they to becoming a division winner, a Super Bowl contender, and all of that? Where do they stand on this hierarchy? And how close do you think they are? You. According to this quote from CBS Sports, experts are saying that the Bears are a year away. Quote, this is another team moving in the right direction. Justin Fields needs to improve as a passer, but they made moves this offseason to help that become a reality. They are a year away. A year? Just one? Not a couple of months away? Not 2023 is a year in which they could make the playoffs? I am so sick of the 1 year away narrative. And we've seen other respected people in Chicagoland, Chicago media circles say the same thing. Here's what I pose. Here's my question that I pose to everybody saying the Bears are a year away. Why? Why does it have to be a year? Explain to me why all these moves that they made throughout the offseason will result in them winning in 2024, 2025. Why will it not help them right now? Somebody tell me why you believe it's going to take time. Look, I'm all for patience. I'm all for waiting to see things through. But Ryan Poles has said, whether directly or indirectly, that this is not about patience anymore. The Bears are not going to tank in 2023. The Bears are not playing to lose in 2023, and they sure as hell aren't hoping for the number one pick in 2023. They've spent hundreds of millions of dollars, literally, in reinforcements for Justin Fields and for this team. They've drafted wisely. They have Justin Fields ready to go. Is it wrong for me to say it should be 10 wins this year? Is it wrong for me to say that we should be expecting more out of this Bears team than what everybody else has said? I don't think so. Aaron Rodgers is out of the division. Minnesota is consistently a fraud, unfortunately. And Detroit is going to be a tough cookie. Then we have the Bears. That's just in the NFC North. I don't think it's implausible or dumb to say this team could be a wild card team. I don't think it's wrong to say they could win the division, potentially. Detroit's the betting favorite right now. The Bears, I believe, are second, according to some recent odds. That's not that far-fetched. I would say to any of you who wish to wait longer and longer, take a look at what's happened this offseason. The writing's on the wall in a good way. It's not, well, we need to play conservative. We need to hope that maybe in a couple of years we'll be great. No, the Bears spent serious money and signed serious talent. They drafted unbelievably well. They acquired a WR1 from Carolina and really fleeced them in that trade, moreover. This is not a time to say, well, we have to wait a couple of years. We got to be patient. No, it's time to put the pedal to the metal and win now. And there should be no reason or excuse why they don't do it. I don't care if I sound overly optimistic, and I don't care if it sounds unreasonable in your eyes. This team should be better than maybe they'll be 500 or maybe they'll go 8-9, 9-8. And no, they should be way better. They should be a wild card team this year, at least, if not more. And I would argue it would be a significant failure if they did anything otherwise. 6-11 is not going to cut it. The media might spin it as, oh, they won 3 more games than last year, but really it's a disappointment based on the money they spent and the moves they made. Signals are coming from Ryan Poles' office. It's no more sitting on our hands and accruing and attaining large cap spaces and tanking for the number one pick. That was last year. This year it should be about winning, at least competing. And I just find it odd that for some reason everyone's cutting the Bears slack. Just a couple of years ago, nobody cut them slack. Everybody trashed him, including myself, after 2019. After the disappointment that was 2019, when they completely regressed, went 8-8 after 12-4, some were already calling at that time for Matt Nagy's head. They were right in retrospect. But It took more and more time for the Bears and for everybody else to hop on the bandwagon and react and make a move to make this team better. See what I mean? Patience is a virtue, and giving this new regime loads of patience to the point where it makes no sense financially and for the team is unacceptable. You cannot tell me Ryan Poles is spending hundreds of millions of dollars, but we got to wait a couple of more years or even one more year to see it come to fruition. These players are not prospects. This isn't baseball, basketball. There's no G League or minor leagues. Everybody's ready, and they're on the roster, and they're football ready and ready to go. And this team is ready to go today. This team on paper, now with the reinforcements that occurred in the draft, and we're not even talking about the second round of free agency yet. Maybe more will come from that. But let's assume this roster right now is the final roster. 9 to 10 wins should be the minimum for them. Minimum. Anything less, in my opinion, would be a complete disaster, frankly. It'd be unacceptable, and it'd be unfortunate for them. We have to shoot for the skies with this team. Everybody's okay shooting for the skies with Justin Fields. Everyone's okay shooting for the skies as they were before with Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace after the 12-4 season. But for some reason, everyone's scared to shoot for the skies with this current team, with this regime, GM, head coach. Why? Every day I look on Twitter, or I see it here on YouTube. Here's why Justin Fields is going to be great. Here's why he's a Hall of Famer already. Well, why can't we say the same about this team? Why can't we say, hey, you know what? This Bears team has made significant contributions, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in 2023. Why is that controversial, or why are people shying away from it? Are we scared to be wrong? Are we scared to put faith into this team? Or are we just cutting them more slack because we want to be shills for Ryan Poles? Don't want to be a part of that group, I'll tell you that. It would make no sense to sit there and chill for Ryan Poles. This team is going to be good, and we have to start accepting it. And if they're not, people have to be held accountable. And that's just how it goes. And this is not jumping the gun, necessarily. It's not. I don't care if Ryan Poles hasn't been here long. He's made moves to indicate that they're ready. Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer with the Cubs had 4 or 5 years before the Cubs were good. That's because that was a part of the plan. You know what they did every offseason? Nothing. They didn't spend money. They didn't tell everybody we're going to be good this year. They did nothing. They just let the team sit there and mire in mediocrity and suck ass for 5 years before all of a sudden the John Lester signing. And all the signings, John Lackey, Jason Hamill, we're going to build up our rotation through free agency. All of our prospects are debuting. Here we go. Ben Zobrist, another. It was a process, but we all accepted it. Ryan Poles, this past offseason, didn't sit on his hands and say, we're not doing anything, time to tank again. No, that was last year. The Larry Ogunjobi mishap, all the money that they accrued, all the horrible games that we had to watch, and the number 1 pick coming through. That's what happened. This year, Ryan Poles spent serious money, made serious trades, drafted serious players. This was the opposite of the Cubs in 2012 and what Theo and Jed did in the offseason. This is more similar to 2015. The Cubs signed John Lester, and all of a sudden they're on the map. They win 97 games. Wow. This year, Ryan Poles signs all these players, drafts all these players, makes a draft trade, and trades the number 1 pick for a WR1. And we got people saying, most people, they're a year or 2 away. Why? Why are they that far away when they're making moves that indicate that they're ready now? We have to have realistic expectations for this team. We can't keep cutting them slack when there's no slack to even be given at this point. No games have been played. We have to have sky-high expectations. If we're allowed to have them about Justin Fields, why can't we have them about this team based on the money spent and the moves made? I'm talking about all this in context, by the way. I'm not blowing smoke, being overly optimistic, or trying to cause division. In context, the Bears spent hundreds of millions of dollars. In context, they made a draft trade that is going to be remembered and historic. In context, Justin Fields, per Luke Getsy, is supposed to be leaps and bounds better. All of this put together is signaling that the Bears are going to be a good team in 2023, that they should win 10 games, potentially make a wild card spot. But we got people, experts, and people in Chicagoland sports media saying the opposite. 2 more years, 1 more year, 3 more years. No. This year has to be something. I'm not saying a Super Bowl. I'm not even saying a division championship. But a wild card spot in 2023 should not be out of the question, Bears fans. And this is a life lesson to me. Shoot for the sky. If you are making moves, if you are working towards something and things are coming together a bit, there's no reason why you should be forgetting about something or just letting it go. Shoot for the sky. We should be doing that with the Bears here. There shouldn't be, I'm too scared to make a prognostication. I don't know what's really going to happen. No. There's evidence to suggest things are going to work. And if they don't, again, colossal failure by the players signed, the money spent, and Ryan Poles. And then at that point, you're going to clean house again. You'll go through the same cycle. But this team is destined for success in 2023, and it's time everybody starts believing it. Thanks for watching today's show here on Sports Talk Chicago. Follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. Subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and comment on what you think the Bears will do in 2023. We'll read them, and we will also heart them. Thank you so much for watching. So long, everyone.